I'm tripping and on you, blue. 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 I'm tripping and on you, blue. Watch yourself, we trip. Keep your shoes tied, I ain't tripping. Heard the 4 for 1, let's get it. No pun, we don't really like to kick, NBA. Look at me, whole lot of gator when you look at me, whole lot of flavor when you look at me, been here, lit 100,000 feet, go on the field, and I take it to the house like I'm Lito. Hey, we from the cloud, this for ESPN talking down. No like it, boy, we in the field. We in the swamp with no chills. We in the square, ain't come Gainesville, home of the gator. What up? In the summer, no hands, all that hate y'all doing it work. Tripping and orange and blue. I'm tripping and orange and blue. Tripping and orange and blue. Tripping and orange and blue. I'm tripping and orange and blue.
Oh, yes, and we are definitely dripping in the orange and blue. Getting ready for what's going to be, hopefully, an outstanding season for the Fighting Florida Gators. And with that in mind, yours truly welcoming you to another great season of the Animal Football Insider, live and direct from the confines of West Des Moines, Iowa, on a night where, well, we're in the vast of many changes that are taking place, and there are a lot of things that we know that are happening. And we recognize, everything that's going on with COVID-19 and everything, and we all want to obviously keep that in proper perspective. But you know what? For the next hour or so, we're going to have some fun here. We're going to talk about a lot of things. My boys behind me right here, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Of course, these guys right here. And of course, we're turning attention to the Florida Gators as we come at you for the next hour or so. Glad you could be with us here. We got some changes that are happening here at Insider. For one, you can catch me live, not just on Facebook Live, but you can also watch me on YouTube and also on Twitter. So if you have a Twitter account, you can catch me live there and also on Periscope too. So you want to catch me that as well. I got the comment box open up, whether you're in Facebook or YouTube. Put your comments and questions in there, and we love to talk about it and hopefully answer some of the questions that you may have as we get together for what's going to be an outstanding season here. And again, you recognize about COVID-19 and everything that's going on, and like I said, for the next hour or so, we are going to have some fun. I always see my good buddy Vince Gerasi in here, saying that I'm an internet star. So, okay, he's right. I am an internet star. What can I say? So, so thanks a lot, brother. I appreciate that. And we know that there's been a lot of changes throughout the course of the year with COVID-19 and everything that's happened. And part of the reason why everything has changed within the sports world has had to do with COVID-19. But with changes comes hopefully some better times ahead. And certainly for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they can address that as well. Coming into this season, the team had some very important decisions that they had to make. And when they went into the offseason, the question that was on everybody's mind, would the Buccaneers go ahead and keep Jameis Winston, or would they move on for better, greener pastures ahead? Well, they decided to let Jameis Winston go, thinking that, maybe they could find probably a better quarterback in the process. Apparently they have. Because you see, they've done something here. I don't know. They got a guy. Hang on. It's gonna come to me in just a minute. Some guy. He's won multiple Super Bowls. It's been a lot of commercials. Has a beautiful wife and all. Some guy named Mike Brady. Oh, Tom Brady. Yes. Tom Brady, of course, who the Buccaneers, who was let go by the New England Patriots at the end of last year. And for many of the Buccaneers, it seemed like that nobody knew what was going to happen with Tom Brady. So for the Buccaneers, they decided once they let Jameis Winston go, they decided to make a play for Tom Brady. Now, the Buc teams in the past have not been able to attest to grabbing, quote unquote, the big name players, but lo and behold, they were able to come up and get Tom Brady. And I forget what the contract amount was, but I believe it was for a 2-year deal. Now, when you have a guy like Tom Brady, obviously you're going to have people that's going to want to come play for him. And naturally, that's what happened with the Buccaneers, because several weeks later after that, another former Patriot who took the year off and decided to come back is now in the spotlight as well. His name is Rob Gronkowski. Gronkowski taking a year off after having those devastating injuries back in 2018, took off 2019, and now he's back for 2020. And judging by the way things have been happening during training camp, it seems like the Brady and Gronkowski team is working out pretty well and becoming teachers for a lot of these rookies and first-year players that are on the team. As Ronald Jones, as Mike Evans, as other players on offense, and they would tell you that they have had a great rapport with Brady and also with Rob Gronkowski. So it looks like that, this team is going to develop into something very special, okay? And it got even more special a couple of days ago. Leonard Fournette, one of the premier running backs in all of the National Football League, or should I say the National Football League. There you go. I said it for you. He decided, the Jacksonville Jaguars decided that they were going to let Leonard Fournette go. They let him go, I believe it was on Monday or Tuesday. Well, for the Buccaneers, they jumped on that very quickly and were able to sign Fournette to a contract, I believe around $3 million over the course of 2 years, something like that. But they got Leonard Fournette into camp, and now all of a sudden, you have the combination of Leonard Fournette. You have the combination of Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, top that with Rob Gronkowski, not to mention Tom Brady, a quarterback, and a veteran core of receivers, and a nice offensive line that's headed by rookie offensive lineman Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa. Gives you the sense that this is going to be a very, very interesting team come 2020. Now, for Jameis Winston, he had to find himself, had to become an understudy, had to take on a secondary role with another team. And he found that team with the New Orleans Saints. Now, with the Saints, he's going to learn under one of the best in Drew Brees. And what's interesting about that now is that's going to be the Saints visiting Raymond James Stadium in when they play 10 days from now. But you know what, though? Football gets underway 1 week from tonight when the Kansas City Chiefs will be playing in Thursday Night Football, kicking off the 2020 season. They're going to receive their rings, and they're going to have a ceremony, obviously, raising that banner flag. And so, yes, it's going to be a very, very interesting season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I welcome your comments on Twitter and Facebook. Obviously, we saw where Vince, let's see here. If I get feedback, I apologize. Let me do this right here. There we go. So we got that. So if you got comments and you want to, and you like to put in your 2 cents worth, I welcome it. Right now it's just me, but hopefully more people will be able to join me and like to hear what everybody has to say about what's going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and all. Of course, there's other news that's happening around the league. We're going to get you all that here in just a second here. My daily scrolling among news outlets to check out the latest. By the way, speaking of Tom Brady leaving New England, the Patriots were able to pick up Cam Newton, who the Panthers released at the end of last year. Now Cam Newton is named the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. They announced that today. Now, something else here that's become very interesting is that Jadeveon Clowney, who you all remember from his days at South Carolina, apparently has been a free agent. Now, reports are out through ProFootballTalk.com that there are reports that the Saints are making a play for Jadeveon Clowney. Whether that happens or not, it will be very interesting to see. But Football Talk is indeed reporting that they are going to make a play for Jadeveon Clowney. Where that goes, we'll find out here in the next few days. But as I said, welcome your comments, welcome your questions here on Football Insider. So we're going to get to the Gators here in just a minute, in just a couple of minutes here. But let's talk about what's going on with the Buccaneers. Now, because of COVID-19 and everything that's been happening with that, obviously changes have come about. Some teams are not having players in stadiums. We're always seeing in baseball where no players are being allowed, no fans are being allowed to play no fans are allowed to be at the stadium for the games. We've always seen that in baseball. Football, a lot of teams are either being at minimal capacity or not even have fans in the stands. For the Buccaneers, they announced yesterday that for at least the first 2 games of the year, they're not going to have any fans for the first 2 weeks. So how that plays out, it's going to be interesting. But also at the same time, it's going to be an opportunity for us to get it kind of like an inside feel of what happens on the field, because I'm sure those mics are going to pick up several things during the course of the 2 weeks. So we've already seen some things in baseball. Okay, we've already seen some things in baseball. So how it works out with football, we're going to find out. But the Buccaneers are not going to have fans in the stands. We know that there are other teams that are going to have fans, but for the Bucs, they're not going to have fans at all. So that's what's going on with the Buccaneers. Now in college, I know that there are a lot of teams that do have fans. And the Florida Gators, they're going to have just 17,000 fans during the course of the season. And we're going to talk about the Florida Gators in just a couple of minutes. And we'll talk about college football in its entirety, because there are definitely some things that are going on there. What we'll also tell you is that the Gators do not play till the 26th of September. They're kind of like starting out late. In fact, as I go to their page, if you'll give me a minute here, at FloridaGators.com, we can tell you that they made announcements on their games for the season here. We can tell you that they will start off Saturday at Ole Miss. Then October 3rd, they'll play 12 o'clock at home against South Carolina. And then the 10th at Texas A&M. And then the LSU game on October 17th. That is going to be a 3:30 kickoff. So that would be a 7:30 kickoff there. And as I said, they're holding their fans to 17,000 for the season. So that's what's going on. Vince asks, are the Gators going to be playing football this weekend? Not until the 26th of September. They're already out practicing, getting ready for the season. And when that happens, you know, it's going to be exciting to finally have college football back. I can tell you that I found out that there is a game on tonight, but I don't know where it is. I've been kind of busy trying to get the new stream set up. We're going to have a lot of nice changes here. We're going to have interviews coming up for you. We were going to try and do an interview tonight, but that didn't work out. Hopefully, if somebody is out there and like to comment on some things, we would welcome it, James. But, and nevertheless, we welcome your comments. We welcome your feedback. And we're just going to have a good time here tonight and talk a lot about football, talk about the National Football League, and then, yes, we'll also talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, let's see here. Diana Rossini of ESPN is reporting that Clowney is being pursued by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Jacksonville Jaguars situation is very interesting. They've already let a few premier free agents go, and by letting Fournette go on Monday or Tuesday, gives everybody the notion that this is a team that is tanking for Trevor. Of course, we're talking about Trevor Lawrence, the great quarterback from the University of Clemson University, and a lot of people believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars are tanking for wanting Trevor Lawrence. Now, I cannot foresee that happening with Trevor Lawrence, but I can't. I really don't know. And like I said, it would be shocking to me if the Jacksonville Jaguars made a play for Clowney. So Tennessee is also in the running for Clowney. Let's see here, and we're getting a report now that Kevin Durant. Okay, never mind about that. So that's a little joke there. Let's see here. And we'll talk about that here in just a couple of minutes. I'm trying to get on Twitter and find out if any sports news is going to be happening here. Not seeing anything new, but as we talked about, Cam Newton is indeed the starter for the Carolina Panthers. Let's get back to talking about the Buccaneers, and let's talk about Brady and what he brings into the system. Since even with COVID, there's still been going on. Brady's been having some off-season workouts with the offensive unit. They were training at a high school that we obviously don't know where it was, but we could see helicopter flyovers where Brady was training with the team on a regular basis. Now, even though the COVID situation was taking place, Brady was making that effort to get his guys out there, get themselves familiar with the offense, get familiar with the players, get familiar with the running backs, and that shows a true testament to the kind of player that that Brady really is. And now with the training camp and play and taking shape, and now it's almost completed, there's this this summation going around now that this is Brady's offense. This is going to be a Tom Brady offense. We're going to see a lot of short passes down the field, occasional bomb or two here and there, running the ball every now and then, and a lot of players on this team seem to like that. Now, how it plays out during the course of the year, I'm very, very interested in seeing how that plays out. So, monitoring some things here. Let's see here. And again, we welcome you to this edition of Animal Football Insider. You're surely coming at you live from West Des Moines, Iowa. Now let's talk a little bit about the Florida Gators. And of course, the Florida Gators are getting ready for their season that comes up on, as we said, on September 26th. As I said at the top, they'll be taking on Ole Miss. Now, initially, I thought that they were going to take on Arkansas, but that game's not till Saturday. Now, why is the Arkansas game that very important? Because it's a former quarterback that used to play for the Florida Gators is now with Arkansas, none other than Felipe Franks. Franks now will take over the helm in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and how he plays. This could be a very interesting SEC division here. Now, before we go on any further with the Florida Gators, let's talk about what's happening with college football as a whole. Should have started that first. What we've seen is that several conferences have decided to either not play at all during the year, or they're going to forfeit their season to down the road. The Big Ten initially had said that they were not going to play, but now since an uproar has taken place, there's the feeling that the Big Ten may start up their season around December or January, something like that. One thing is for sure, how the bowl games play out and how they develop how they decide who's going to be a national champion. Well, that's going to be very interesting to see how the NCAA handles all this. Because now, as we said, not every team has decided to play. I don't think the Pac-10 has decided to come on board with the season. I could be wrong with that. I know the Big 8 is playing this year. In fact, Iowa State initially announced that they were going to have 25,000 fans in the stands. Athletic Director Jamie Pollard announced yesterday they decided to change those plans. No fans are going to be in the stands for the Iowa State games, at least during the early part of the season. So so I'm interested to see how that plays out. It's going to be CF. Okay, I hear. So here's the thing, CF. Okay. So I like to know what the heck is CF. It can't be Cedar Falls. Okay. So you got explain. You got to kind of like explain yourself here, buddy. What are you talking about? Yes, it's going to be a cluster. Yes, it is. It is. It is going to be a cluster, no doubt about that. Because I really do not. I really cannot believe that they would be doing it the way that they're doing it. And yes, it's going to be a. I tend to wonder how. I tend to wonder how they're gonna work all this. I don't know if they would take the champions from the first part of the year and match them up with champions from the last part of the year. I really don't know how they're going to do this. And college football has some very interesting things to work out here. In fact, I was going to get to something here that I saw that I was going to comment on later, but I'll go ahead and do it now here if you'll allow me to do this here because I just saw this. The Football Oversight Committee is recommending an 8-game spring season. Okay. Now, how that works out, this is just brand new to me that I'm just reading about, and it just came across the wires a few minutes ago. Okay, it is for conferences that have decided to push their season to 2021. It'll include 15 practices in 29 days and an 8-game season that must end by April 17th. Any other conferences that have postponed their season because of the coronavirus but decide to resume playing games earlier than spring will not be able to use a 15 practice model, but will be recommended but it will be recommended all leagues that have postponed will have 13 weeks to complete their season. And the committee also has asked the council to extend the recruiting dead period, I should say, to October 31st, and to eliminate the evaluation period for football in the fall. This comes from Heather Dinich of ESPN. The Division I Council is expected to vote on these recommendations at a September 16th meeting. So, that's very interesting that they were going to push for an 8-game spring season for teams that decided not to play. Now that also becomes a very here's what becomes very interesting in the process. How are they going to play your players? But first of all, one of the things you should come to realize is that teams that these players who have their senior season, the NCAA has already announced they're giving them another year of eligibility. Okay, so now you have to ask yourself, how are they going to work this out? Are they going to play their starters and first-string players during the spring season? Or are they going to wait till the 2021 season? I mean, this is all very interesting. And I think that by this model that these guys are trying to do here, I think that this could pave the way for a possible spring season for college football for a lot of these guys who don't play during the summer camp. In other words, you could say, like, let's say you have a Kyle Trask. He plays during the regular football season, September through January. You get into the spring season, the guy like what's his name now? I've lost myself. Hang on just a minute here. And I'm gonna go nuts, but I'm gonna kick myself when I realize who it is. Emory Jones, quarterback for the Florida Gators. When Kyle Trask gets done with the season, make it mandatory that a guy like Emory Jones, who's been a secondary quarterback on the team, has to play during the spring season. Now, that could work for a lot of teams. But the question becomes, do the coaches want to do this? Okay. And that's going to become the biggest decision down the road of how they do it. But that's for down the road. For now, the conversation develops around how the college football, how the spring 8-game season looks. And if it looks pretty good, I got to believe that the NCAA may adopt something like this for the lesser players who don't get that opportunity to play. So we're gonna watch this very closely, and we're gonna see what happens with that. Now, let us get into more about the Florida Gators. And of course, we talked about Felipe Franks, who decided to leave the team during the offseason and decided to go to Arkansas, as I said before. Now, it put Trask in the position that he's going to be the starter going into fall camp. In fact, he's practicing with the first team. He's looking good. Emory Jones, he's playing well with the second team. Okay. And the guys are really looking good. Now, what's happened is that since COVID-19, several things have taken place. And one of them happens to be a controversy that has happened at the University of Florida. You heard the opening by Big Homie of guys during Gator Bait. Okay. In fact, let me play this again for you so you know what I'm talking about. So hang on here just a minute. Let me play this for you. So this is what they say. Now, that is a chant that all the fans do in the stands when a big defensive play happens. And we all know that. You Gator fans that follow the sport regularly, they know what happened. That they know that develops. Well, some controversy has been coming up about the phrase, saying this kind of racial and is racially motivated and things like that. And it's become a big controversy down in Gainesville. We were supposed to have Kyle McGraw Long on, she's a big time Florida Gator fan, to give us some insight on that. But because of technical difficulties, we weren't able to bring her up. So we're not going to bring her up tonight. Hopefully, we'll have her on another broadcast. One guy that will try and join us next week is going to be David Waters of Gators Breakdown. He's going to join me next week, and we'll have a conversation, talk about what's going on with the Florida Gators, and he'll give us a lot of insight as to what's going on there as well. Just checking Twitter here, see if anything has been happening here. But as far as the recruiting and everything that's happened with the Florida Gators, they finished 8th in the country in recruiting. He had a great. Dan Mullen had a great recruiting class. They did an outstanding job, and now hopefully it can develop into something very special on the field. However, with COVID, that's put a damper on things. But I will say one thing about the Florida Gators and their scheduling this year, that all of their games are going to be against SEC opponents. There are not going to be any cupcake teams whatsoever. Now, the bad side of that is the fact that the Florida Gators will not be able to play Florida State, which is a bummer, and that's the first time that's happened. God, you got to go back to like 1930-something since the last time that took place. I'm sure I'll talk with David Waters about that another time. But, for them not being able to play, that's kind of a blow to them. So, but for the Gators, all their games are going to be matched against SEC opponents. In fact, let me go down the schedule for you, and I'll tell you exactly. They start off against Ole Miss, then they're home against South Carolina, then at Texas A&M against Jimbo Fisher, then they come home against LSU, Missouri, and then they have a week off, and then Georgia, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Saturday afternoon or evening on Thanksgiving weekend against Kentucky. That's going to be a very interesting game. They close out the regular season here, people, against Tennessee. Okay, and you look at all that, and it's like, oh wow, that's awesome that the team that their biggest rival happens to be the last game of the year. Actually, is Florida State, but as a consolation prize against Tennessee, I'm ecstatic about it. I don't know how Florida Gator fans feel, and please comment in the comment section. I love to get Gator responses to this about it. But I love it. I love the scheduling. I love how they're gonna do it. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how this year goes about. Again, I'm doing some things on Twitter, checking some things out. Let's see here. So mostly my stuff is politics right now. Oh, we talk about, by the way, back to the NFL. We talk about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, They got their rings at a stadium, Arrowhead Stadium, the other night, and Patrick Mahomes was just in awe when he saw his ring. I wish I could play you the video. Um, um, I wish I could show you the video, but I don't think I can find it here in this broadcast. But it was pretty neat to see that, and congratulations to the Chiefs and what happened during the course of the year. I mean, that was just fantastic to see what happened. So let's see here. And one other thing too, and I'm gonna up and for Dan Mullins and the Florida Gators, they did something pretty cool here. I'm gonna see if I can load this up here. Again, I'm working with a whole new stream, whole new everything here. St. Patrick's of comebacks. Okay, Vince, you gotta clarify yourself here. These things. Are you talking about Notre Dame? You need to expand yourself here, buddy. Let's see here. Let's see here. We got that. Banners, brand, no. Anyhow, let's see here. Let's see here. I really want to try and pull this up here because I think it's really a cool thing. Yeah, hang on just a minute here. I'm going to pull this up here because I think it really is a cool thing here. And no, I don't want that. Yeah, that's what I want there. Here's that pulled up. Nope. Let me take that off there. I don't want that. We'll stop that. All right. Again, I got a brand new stream here, and I'm trying to see how it works out. So I apologize for the dullness here. That's what I want right there. Okay. All right. That is Dan Mullins, and that is the entire coaching staff and several players taking a stand for racial justice. And this was a really cool thing that was done at Florida Field, and I thought that was a real cool thing that they did. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I get it. More on that when I'm getting in just a second. But Dan Mullen really commented the other day about the problems that are going on with racial justice and everything that's happening in this country with the several deaths that's been happening. And Dan Mullen made some comments the other day. They took a strong stand for racial justice, and then they did this picture and posted it on. They did it and posted it on Facebook. Not Facebook. I mean on Twitter here a few days ago. So I thought that was a really cool thing for him for the Florida Gators to post, and I thought that was a cool thing. Mahomes, bro. Okay. Comfyheim from Super Bowl win. Oh, what? Oh, great! Thank you. I'm glad you're watching on Periscope. I appreciate that. In fact, I should get on my Periscope, see if anybody else is asking any questions. I'm sure that it comes up, but okay. I'll be spending all day scrambling here, but yeah. Yeah, that was an excellent comeback. One of the best comebacks in football that I've seen in a long time, and the way that he did it. I mean, you think about this. You think about this. Mahomes is what, in his second year, Vince? First year, second year? Vince will comment on it in just a second, but what was it? His first year or second year? His second year. Okay, it was his second year at quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, and the way he played this was just unbelievable. And you talk about poise. You talk about not losing it, just keeping his cool. Yeah, exactly. Second full season, right? And I mean it was almost like it was magic watching this guy play. And what I love so much about Patrick Mahomes, and I hope everybody understands this, he keeps his perspective on things, and he never showed like he had a big head. He never showed like that he had a arrogance or anything about him. Um, he was, I mean, he actually um, was a very good quarterback, and he played he was awesome, and I was just in awe I was just in awe of everything he's been doing, and he's been just amazing with the way he's playing. So, but what an awesome job he did. What an awesome job that he has done. Um, I want to do something here. I want to do something because I want to play something, and I think it's one of the funniest things you will ever see. Um, um, there is this person on Twitter. Okay, he is he claims to be a die in the wool Georgia fan. Um, let's see here. And I gotta find it here. Um, he This guy is a diehard Georgia fan apparently, and sometimes he says some things that would just blow your mind away. And I wish I could find it so I could play it for you, because it is such a hilarious deal. But yeah, I don't think I can find it. If anybody that's watching me knows what I'm talking about, um, please let me know. Um, oh, definitely, Vince. Definitely. Vince is very confident, down to earth, supremely confident in what he could do. Definitely. I thought that he could. I thought there was nothing that they could not have done during the course of the game. In fact, I was kind of surprised by the way that they had won. Um, Obviously, I can't remember a lot of the game, obviously, because of everything that has transpired since then, obviously. But I do remember it being one of the greater football games that we have seen in a long time, and it was very exciting to see, no doubt about it. So, and it's confirmed that 17,000 fans will have capacity at Florida Field during the course of the 2020 football season. And David Waters of Gator Breakdown, he's expected to join us next week, and hopefully we can get some other guests to join in as well. So that's what's going on with the Florida Gators and college football as well. Um, Now let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the Indoor Football League. And the big news that's coming out of there happens to be the Cedar Rapids Titans, who announced recently that they have folded. They're not anymore due to COVID. We can tell the Sioux Falls Storm, they also folded as well. They're not going to be back till next year. Richard Tiemann, who formerly worked with the Storm, who is an Indoor Football League reporter, we're going to get him on down the road here in a couple of weeks. We're going to talk about what's going on with not only just with the Sioux Falls Storm, with the Cedar Rapids Titans, but also the future with the Iowa Barnstormers as well, because there are a lot of questions to be answered, whether or not there will be even a 2021 football season. And a lot of season ticket holders are waiting to find out what's going to happen. And I can tell you that the Barnstormers have gone ahead and signed a few players. So those details should come to light. Yes, they did, Vince. They folded. Well, you know what? Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. I should say they folded. They shut down their operations, a lot like other teams. Okay, but Cedar Rapids, and I apologize for that. That's my bad. All right, let me correct myself right here, right now. They didn't fold. They just shut down operations, and because of that, a lot of people unfortunately had to lose their jobs. One being my good friend Richard Tiemann, who we'll have on next week, and we're talking mainly about the Indoor Football League and what's going on down the road with them. But no, Sioux Falls did not fold. They just shut down operations. So whether or not they have another season, whether or not the Indoor Football League has another season remains to be seen. I will say that by the Barnstormers signing a few more players, leaves me with the indication, at least, that they're going to have a 2021 season. Definitely. You're right. Last 10 minutes in the game, that's all that really matters. I mean, it was one of those games that you probably will not forget. I wish on YouTube they could go back and replay the final 10 minutes of have the final 10 minutes of the game. So, what I would tell you and what's going on, and speaking of the back to National Football League, there's been some rumors going around about with the future of the NFL Network, what's going on with them and all. I do know that they've been taken off of Sling, but they announced today that they've signed a deal with YouTube TV. Okay. Now, with the NFL not being able, with COVID-19 developing, a lot of bars and a lot of restaurants are being closed. And so now people are asking the questions, how can I see my team play? If my team is not being able to be seen, how can I not watch my team if I can't go to like a Buffalo Wild Wings, or if I can't go to like a Hooters and watch the games, And this has become a very controversial situation, and one in which I believe that the NFL Network really needs to step up, really needs to start to step up and tell people that open up the NFL Sunday Ticket to let other teams play, or let other people watch the games, because the only way you can watch the games is through a satellite dish or through some type of streaming service that becomes very expensive. So how and so how that plays out, that's going to be interesting. That would be, as I always say, um, um, that could become a very interesting situation as to whether or not NFL Sunday Ticket allows other outlets to broadcast the games. Okay, I will tell you this: as a die-in-the-wool football fan, if I had the option to pay $350 a year to watch other NFL games besides my Buccaneers, I do it in a heartbeat. Okay, and I think that there are a lot of teams that would want to do it. I think there are a lot of a lot of fans that would want to do it. I think there are a lot of fans that are ready for it. And it comes down, the NFL, I don't think realizes how much money they could make off of this. Okay, even though it sounds bad during a time of COVID-19, the league could very well make a lot of money off of this. So it's become a situation whereby they, they really need to analyze this and come up with a decision, and hopefully they will. But as of right now, NFL Sunday Ticket, the only way you can get it is through Dish Network, through NFL Sunday Ticket through DirecTV. Now, yeah, but you know what though? You know what though? You might pay $100 a season, not $350. Here's the thing about that though. Okay, I would pay $100. I would pay $100 to for my team. Okay, and that's like less than $10 a game. It's still cheap. Think about it for just a minute. Okay, and I'm about to do something that's gonna really. I'm gonna do something here that's hang on here just a second here. Hang on here for just a second here, because I'm going to show you something here. Okay, so if you think about it, okay, if you pay $350 a year for a 17-game season, you're only paying like $20 a game. Okay, you're only paying for like $20 a game, and in this economy and in this time when NFL games are so high priced to see, yeah, I do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. Sure, I would, because if you stop and think about it, okay, keep in mind that's $20. Keep in mind that's $20 a week. Okay, think about that for just a minute. $20 a week. Not just see the Buccaneers, but see all the teams play. Now, obviously, you're going to have your local teams blocked out. And for this area up here in Iowa, we got the Vikings we got the Vikings, we got the Bears, we got the Chiefs, we got the Broncos, and help me, Vince, there's one more team. And I'm going to kill myself. It's not St. Louis because they went to LA. Yes, Mom. Yes, Mom is hearing this as well. She's in the other room watching me at the whole 54 minutes plus. Who's the 15? Okay, we got the Broncos. We have the Chiefs. We have the Bears, the Vikings. Could be just 4 teams, but nevertheless, I mean those 4 teams you wouldn't be able to see on your DirecTV system, but still you could be able to see other games. Okay, I pay for in a heartbeat, and I hope that the National Football League comes to their senses and offers this opportunity, sees this as an opportunity for fans to stream the games. Now, whether or not that happens, We're going to find that out down the road. Probably not, but I still think that they could make a lot of money by by doing this. Well, we've been on for nearly an hour right now, and let me tell you what we got going on next week on the Animal Football Insider. Obviously, it will be the first game of the 2020 season when the Chiefs will be playing. That will be on NBC. Will be on at 7:30 Central Time. Although I'm thinking about pushing that back an hour, just for the reasons of so I can be able to watch the game as well. And of course, hopefully we get Karen McGraw-Long on, talk about the Florida Gators, what's going on with them, catch you up on any college football news as well, and more or less just have a good time and get ready for a great 2020 season. Well, I hope you've liked the broadcast for today. Tell your friends about it. Again, we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're on Periscope. We're also on Facebook. So every Thursday night, 7:30, catch me live here for an hour. We talk sports, and I hope that you enjoyed it just as much as I did. Thanks a lot for joining me, guys. Y'all have a great one, and God bless.
I'm dripping in orange and blue, dripping in orange and blue, dripping in orange and blue, dripping in orange and blue. I'm dripping in orange and blue, dripping in orange and blue, dripping in orange and blue. I'm dripping in orange and blue. Myself, we trip. Keep my shoes tied, I ain't tripping. Heard the 4 for 1, let's get it. No pun, we don't really like to kick it.
Y'all have a good one. God bless everybody.
Whole lot of gator when you look at me. Whole lot of flavor when you look at me.